All right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I would like to welcome Sandee Giller to my interview show today. Thank you so much for being on here, Sandee.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, this is, I know everybody is looking for different ways to help their business right now, whether they have zero revenue coming in, reduced revenue, or if they're as busy as ever. It feels like it's more important than ever right now to really be on top of your marketing, your customer relationships. And so that's why I knew this would be a great time to have you on. It's always a great time, but I feel like it's more important than ever.
Yes.
So relationship marketing is such an important thing. So while I kind of check and make sure the feed is live and share this around to a couple other places, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and how you got where you are today?
Okay. Originally, my husband and I are from Boston. We actually moved to Phoenix 20 years ago. We've been married, it will be 30 years in August. I started with 10 years ago, we owned an automotive shop, and I needed a way to say thank you to our customers. And so I downloaded or ordered 500 cards from Vista Print and realized my handwriting was not that good. My spelling was not that good. I smudged more than I did. And I didn't like having to go to the post office. And I went to a networking event. And that day, the person that was doing her 10-minute presentation was with a company called SendOutCards. And after she did her presentation, I said to her, I need you and I need you now. And so I signed up as a customer and we started using it within our shop. And that was 9.5 years ago. It'll be 10 years in August that I've been using SendOutCards.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that long.
Yes, and it's an amazing system. And it's totally, not just business-wise, it's totally changed my life.
Yeah, that's really cool. So that's interesting. So you became involved in selling send out cards by having it be a part of your and your husband's business in the first place. That's yeah,
Yes. And
very
because
cool.
that's why I look at it as a business tool. It's more business to business that I'm in. And I think it's because I came in using it for a business.
Yeah. We have Karen joined us. She said, hi, ladies. So I'm just giving her a quick hello back there. And so, yeah, so, obviously these tools, explain a little bit more about how the system works, just so people who have never heard of send out cards
Okay.
can see why it's important.
SendOutCards is an online or on your phone system that you can go in. We have thousands of cards you can choose from. You can design your own. They're real cards. So you go on, and I have a couple. You can go on. You can pick one of theirs that they have. You can completely customize it on the inside. Put your branding on the back of the card. You click send. The card gets printed, stuffed, mailed for you the next morning. And we have gifts that we can send along with them. And you can send one card and you can send up to as many cards as you want.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Karen says, love the cards that Sandee Lee Giller sends. They are also personal. Yes. So and I did have a chance, you gave me the link to go. I didn't actually pick one to send out yet for the free card, but I went through and looked at all the different options and, looked at the, how the designs and how the process works. It's so easy. And there's options for everything. I'm a big believer in snail mail still for thank you cards, for gifts, in personal life, but also for things having to do with business. In fact, I just got a card from a friend, yesterday, but she and I are we help each other with business things as well. And it was just basically a note of encouragement and checking in on me, and it made my day. That's people still value getting that real piece of mail, right?
Yes, for sure. It totally changes business too. And the more we call it, there's top of mind, we call it top of heart.
Right.
Because when somebody opens up a card, it gives them a feeling of dopamine going through their body. Yeah. And also when you're sending the card, you get the same thing. So we get to, as a sender, feel it both times when we send it and then also when the person receives it and reaches out to you.
Right. So, and that's, I love that you said not just top of mind, it's top of heart. So that brings me to my question is kind of, what do you see as one of the bigger problems in businesses and their customer relationships? Like what kinds of problems are you seeing?
A lot of times people focus on the business, on their products. They're promoting their products. They're promoting, looking for the dollar. And they're not really building that relationship with their clients, not letting them know that they appreciate them, not letting them know that they mean more to them than how much money they're spending with them.
Right.
And I receive from insurance companies, you get the birthday card, but you open it and it's all of their business card information. That's no longer a birthday card. That's a marketing tool.
Right.
And I teach businesses, because I mainly work with businesses, to focus on the relationship and not so much on the dollar sign. And your dollar sign will grow because you're focusing on the relationship.
Right. And that's, I think anybody that's been in business successfully, at least for a little while, and understands that it's actually, more important to focus on the customers you already have, right? Than necessarily than going after new. Of course, you always want to keep that funnel with new customers or clients coming in, but it's easier to just take care of the ones you already have. And if you take care of the ones you already have, then they're going to also be your advocate and refer you out, and and the list goes on, right?
Correct. Yes.
And so that's something like that goes back to what you started with. Some of the problems are that business is focused too much on just promoting and selling the product or service versus focusing on the customer relationship. So
exactly.
And now I had Casey, hi Casey, and Susan Urban joined. Casey had wanted to know a question about just about the cost, and I think that's something maybe we could kind of direct people to a link afterwards. I'll drop some links in the comments. And he also wanted to know what a follow-up after you send the card looks like. Like, should you follow up after you send a card? That's a good question. Of course.
And we also teach within SendOutCards, you can set up campaigns. So you can set up 3, 5, 12 card campaigns. So once for instance, if you have a new customer, when we had our shop, actually, my husband just started a new business and I'm setting up his campaigns. So when he works on a car, I send a thank you card for the fact that he's worked on the car. And then they'll get another card maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, asking them, making sure everything's okay, just checking up on you. And then they'll receive maybe a 4th of July card from me, maybe a Veterans Day card from me. And one of the fun things that I've been doing is, this is one of my customers, actually, they're on my team. It's a bakery. And so what they did is they did a word search. And inside, it's a word search with all information like on cakes, on bakery. And they have sent these out to their customer just as a touch. Nothing to promote themselves, nothing for anything. Just, hey, let's do something fun. And they're getting amazing feedback. And I've been doing that with other businesses as well.
I love that. It's once again, you're just kind of reaching out, saying, especially right now, people are looking for things to do. So, hey, a fun little word search, a little distraction, and then they think of that business now.
Right.
Yeah.
Another thing is all businesses, if you know somebody that's a customer is a nurse, right now is a great time to reach out to them, thank them for being a nurse. Yeah. There's so many graduates right now that are not being able to have their graduation, and they need encouragement. As a business, do you know what that would be like if you reached out to those in your community, whether a customer or not, and put your business logo on the back saying, I just want to let you know I'm here for you, I'm cheering you on. That card is not going to be thrown away, number one. Number two, somebody's going to ask, who sent you that card? And it's going to have your business information on the back.
Right. Once again, it never hurts to support the community and to build relationships with people in the community. Even like you said, even if they're not directly your customer or potential customer, it's that goodwill. It's going to engender goodwill and word of mouth too.
Yes.
Yeah. So I love that. And I've always been a big believer. I started, my career as a teenager working in restaurants, right? So it's all about customer service. And I remember people, when I worked at restaurants long enough, they would come in and just walk to my section or request my section because I always remember their name. If they ordered the same thing all the time, I knew what it was. I knew their kids' names, things like that. And those little touches of you understanding that your customer is a person and making them feel special, which a card in the mail absolutely does that. That goes a really long way.
So that brings me up to something that I like to do. My husband and I, before this all happened, we eat out a lot. And I love, if we have an amazing wait person, I will send them a card and brownies. I also will send a card to their manager telling them what an amazing experience we've had.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the things that have happened of that has been amazing. I've had a barista or whatever they're called at Dunkin' Donuts. She was written in the international newsletter because I sent her a card thanking her for her awesome customer service. We have two other, a waiter and waitress in San Diego that we were at Bubba Gump's. Their manager used them as an example for new managers because we showed them that, and it's just amazing. So, and I can go into a restaurant and have a waitress say, "Oh, you're that lady." And I'm like, "What lady?" And they'll say, "You sent me that card 2 years ago and it's still sitting on my shelf."
Oh.
And I worked at a different restaurant. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So it does. And people remember you.
It leaves an impression for sure. And that's especially people in any kind of customer service jobs like that. There's, not everybody goes above and beyond. I feel like it is more rare than normal for somebody to go above and beyond. So for them to get encouraged for and appreciated for that is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very cool. Now, Casey asked a question. Do you do EDDM? I'm not sure what that means. Do you know what that means? I'm not. Maybe education. He's a teacher as well. So he has his own business, but he's also a teacher. Maybe do you anything with education?
I have teachers that send cards to their students, especially now, let them know that they're there for them. I have a friend whose daughter is a teacher in a private school. And before they have to take one of the state exams, she'll send each student a card and say, and she writes this beautiful, it makes me cry every time I read it, about how this exam doesn't define who they are and how the exam doesn't show that they're a good big brother or big sister, doesn't show that they help their mom around the house, doesn't show that they help the neighbor down the street. And she said, it's totally changed the way they come into taking the test. They're less stressed, and they also are more confident in themselves because she gave them something to think about instead of stressing over what the exam is for.
Right. That's so wonderful. And so, in case he did reply, I'd never heard of it referred to as an acronym, but he meant everyday direct mail.
Direct mail. Ours is not so much cold mail. Ours is more warm and fuzzy. But we do have a lot of realtors that use this. But they use it not as a direct. Some of them use it for farming in their community, but not as much. I have lots of testimonials from all different types of industries that I can share in feeds or whatever.
Yeah. So I think I know Casey, what his business is custom printing. And so I'm thinking he's wondering a way, but Casey, I know you have some very specific targets because he looks more of a bulk order. So like he could probably use this to target the decision makers at schools who might need custom printing or certain businesses or event organizers or things like that. So he could probably use it for something like that if he had a name and an address.
It's a really good way to break through the gatekeeper.
Right.
I've had lots of stories is that as far as there's a company in Australia that they do IT employment placement, and they were trying to get into this one company for a long time, and they couldn't get past the gatekeeper, and found out that the person that they needed to reach out to, their mom died, her mom passed away. They sent a sympathy card to that lady, and 2 weeks later they got a call from her, and she said, "Wow, it's the only card I received. And by the way, who are you?" Because they had never been able to make a meeting.
Wow.
And because of that, they were able to build business together, and that person has become their biggest customer.
Wow, that's a great story. So that's actually that's a great segue into one of my questions for you was to share a couple of your favorite customer relationship management stories. That one's awesome because they weren't even their customer yet. They were just trying to show sympathy at a difficult time for somebody who they've been trying to get in touch with. But how about, do you have a story or two that you can share where building this customer relationship through cards has been successful for a company?
For a lot of them, we have, there's another company here in Tempe. It's a recycling plant, and they were really struggling. The cost of metal really went down, and they were really struggling with that. And at Christmas time or December, they sent out just a thanks man card to all their customers. Well, what recycling plant sends out a card?
Right.
And all they did was, "We really appreciate you. We thank you for your business." And that brought them in, I think they said something like 30 or 40 new customers.
Wow.
And then in March, they happened to be Irish, and they sent out St. Patrick's Day cards to all their customers, and that brought in enough revenue to keep their door open.
Wow.
And they also use the cards to get through. They do a lot of work with AC companies because they want the metal from the old ACs. And there were companies that they were having a hard time getting with, and they were using the card and brownies to get through the gatekeeper for that as well.
Okay.
And there's lots of realtors, what does it cost a realtor to not stay top of mind? I have a friend that's a commercial realtor, and he had set up a campaign that people would hear from him for 3 years, just automatically. He set up a campaign, and he let one of the campaigns lapse. And then he realized how much business he missed out on because he went back and he figured it out, and he lost out over $100,000 worth of business because he didn't stay top of heart with those clients.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. That's really, I know, I'm thinking of actually my realtor. We have a realtor that we absolutely love that we've used for a while, and we plan to use him forever. And he always sends out handwritten cards, but I bet I need to have him look at your website, because he does a really great job of staying top of mind, top of heart with emails and handwritten cards. But I think he could save himself a little time and energy using your service.
Exactly. And we can really, what I like about it is we can totally customize it. Now, I left my corporate job in January, and I'm big about posting on Facebook. And so I had posted this when I left. Sometimes it's time to start a new chapter. Now, this is an 8.5 by 11 card. And one of my friends took my post, put it on the front of my card, and then sent me congratulations for the fact that I'm starting. And he owns one of the largest brokerages in Boston, and he uses SendOutCards as well.
Awesome.
And so I know a lot of people, if you're doing a lot of Zooms and you're meeting a lot of new people, this is another one of his cards. He took it from our mastermind Zoom group, and he sent it out, and he always has his listings on the back of the cards.
Very good. Very good. So Casey also had a question. He wanted to know if he has a list of 500 names and addresses, is it easy to then send cards to those 500 people?
We have a separate system. You can either import them into our CRM, or we have a separate system called Sendogo, where we plug into your CRM and you can work from there as well.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say, if the largest brokerage in Boston is using it, I'm guessing they're sending hundreds and hundreds, so if not 1,000 or more. Okay, so I think that's a couple of great stories of one example of what happens when you stop staying top of mind and top of heart there, right? When you forget to keep that relationship alive. And then the other one being so successful, that recycling plant of all things. Those are my favorite stories about like successful customer relationship management or successful marketing, is those kind of not thought of more boring industries like recycling or, insurance or, things like that, where, and they brought in a ton of revenue and a ton of new clients because of some cards that they sent.
Exactly. I have a whole bunch of testimonials from all different industries. There's a mortgage rep that started using SendOutCards last September, and because of it, he knows of $20,000 of income that he would not have had if he wasn't using SendOutCards.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so Casey had one more question. He said, if someone has never done it, what would you focus on first until we can streamline it all?
Just start using one card at a time. That's what I tell people. I send 5 to 10 cards a day, and I typically tell businesses sending 3 to 5 cards a day will change their business. It'll also change your life in ways you'll never, ever realize, because it does something to you. It's very hard to be in a bad mood when you're sending out cards every day.
Yeah. Because when you're focusing on sending kind thoughts or encouragement or gratitude or whatever, your brain is and your mindset is in a very positive place, right?
Exactly. And I've been using SendOutCards for part of it for close to 10 years. And very rarely do I have a bad day. And when I'm having a bad moment, it's okay, let's send a card, because it totally will change the way you look at things and the way that you feel. Being
others focused always serves you well, right?
For sure.
So, obviously we're going to drop and share links to your website and everything that people would want to learn more about SendOutCards and how to reach you. But also, if you could recommend kind of one podcast or one book or a YouTube channel or anything that people could go to just to kind of learn more about the importance of customer relationship and relationship marketing.
So there's a book called The Power of Human Connection that Cody Bateman, the founder of SendOutCards, wrote a couple years ago.
Awesome.
I'm actually, one of the featured stories is about 2 of my cards stories that are in here. I can send this out to anybody that's interested in reading it. I would love to have your address so that I can mail this out to you. It is a very powerful book. It talks about, there's a lot of my friends are in this book of different stories for their businesses and how it's changed their business and their lives.
That's awesome. That's great. And that's a great offer. So that being said, I'll drop the links, but can you kind of talk us through what's the best way for people to connect with you, to learn more about the service, etc.?
Okay. You connect to me, you can either message me. I have a Facebook business page called Sandee the Card Lady, and lady spelled Lade because of the way I spell my name.
Yep.
Or you can message me through my regular Facebook. You can call or text me at 602-820-3026, or email me at cardlady@gmail.com. And again,
Awesome.
Lady, Ladee.
Great. And I'll be sure to drop that email information and your Facebook page and everything in the comments, so it's really easy for people to just click and find you that way.
And also Cody Bateman, our founder, he has a lot of podcasts that he interviews different businesses on how they've been using it and what it's done for their business.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, so I'll try and get that link from you as well if anybody wants to hear more about examples, because maybe they'll be able to hear an example that relates to their industry and their business. Yeah. Wonderful. Awesome. Any last thoughts or last takeaways to share?
No, just when you focus on other people, this is a tangible touch. And this is something, I mean, I have thousands. I was just looking, this is just cards I've received in 2 days. Wow. So once you start sending them out, things start changing. Oh, the other thing I do is I like to, when a policeman gets killed on duty, I send a card to the police station. And then I typically will receive something back from the police station. Again, for me, it's giving back and letting people know that I'm here. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And the more you give, the more you receive. Yeah, I can see your heart in that too. And I've seen that, this is the first chance we've had to really talk, live like this, but I've seen you on social media a lot, and I've heard about you from some mutual friends for a long time. So it's awesome to see that heart there. And it's true. It's when you give with the right motivation and that kindness in your heart, you're gonna get it back manyfold, right? Yes. Again, and if you're if you're sending the cards to give to somebody, it's going to work. If you're sending cards to get something from it, it takes away the whole experience. Yeah. And it will make a huge difference because of your mindset, of the way you're sending the cards. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I've seen a ton of comments, a lot of people saying thank you for the great information. So I have a feeling you're going to be getting a lot of inquiries after this video, and as people watch it later on that weren't able to watch live. So thank you again for taking the time, Sandee. Thank you. Well, I'll share all those links for everybody here as soon as I can after this is over. Awesome. Thank you for having me. You have a great rest of your day. Thank you. You as well. Bye, everybody. Bye.